So you're ready to put together the ladder for your super pool? You're in the right place. Now if you need to put together the ladder for your Omega pool, which is the round pool by Splash, that's a different video and you can find that on our YouTube channel. If you're putting together the ladder for your Alpha pool, the only 5-foot above ground pool made by Splash, then it's the exact same process as the super pool. You just have one additional step on the inside and one additional step on the outside. Other than that, it's the same. So if you're ready, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have all the parts that you need to put the ladder together. So when you open the box, make sure that you have all the parts, and there is a list. By the way, we'll put up a list right here and you can pause the video and check it. Or if you want to, you can go to splashpools.com and look under manuals and you'll find the written version of all the instructions along with a parts list. So let's make sure we got all our parts and we'll go to step 1. So the first thing we're going to do is put together the platform of the ladder. So you're going to pull out these 3 platform pieces. You'll have 3 platform supports and you'll have 2 of the platform step stiffeners. All right, so simple process. You'll notice in the side you've got 1, 2, 3 holes. So we're going to put a support in each hole. And then we're going to put a step stiffener over that. Now we're going to put the next piece on just like the first. You may want to get some type of a little mallet. You want a good tight fit. I'm going to put my second step stiffener in right here. And then I'm going to add the third piece. Just like that. So now we're going to set this aside, go to step 2. All right, so step 2, we're going to assemble the interior steps of the ladder. So out of your box, you're going to need your 2 stainless steel rails. You're going to need 2 white plugs off your plastic tree. You're going to have 4 solid stainless steel pins out of your hardware bag, and you're going to have the 2 interior steps out of your box. Now you'll notice there's 2 steps that are flat, and there are 3 steps that are angled. These are the exterior. So there you can see the difference. We want the flat ones. We want the interior for now. So we're going to start by putting the plastic plugs in our stainless steel rails, and we want to put them in the bottom. So how do you tell the top from the bottom? The hole that's closest to the edge, that's your top. So this one is going to go in the end. You just put it right in there. Same thing. Put it right in. And once I have my plugs in, and this is the bottom, I'm going to take one of the steps and I'm going to slide it over. I'm going to do the same thing with the second one. And now I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to put it through this hole. And you can see that when I turn it, I want it to be going straight across. And it'll line up with a groove in the bottom of the step. Once you get them lined up, just slide that down. And that locks in. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the second step. So we're going to put our pin in. Just like that. Put our pin in the other side. And as you start pushing the step down, make sure they are lined up. And once you get it started, just like that. On to step 3. Now we're on step 3 for putting together your super pool ladder. It's the exterior steps. Remember, they're a little different. Your exterior steps are slanted. If you still have flat ones, let's go back and change them out. The flat ones go on the inside, the slanted ones go on the outside, and you'll see why when we get it on the pool. So you're going to have 3 exterior steps. You're going to have 6 of these stainless steel pins, and you're going to have 2 of the plastic caps from your plastic tree. I've already put them in because it's the exact same process. Matter of fact, it's the same process to go ahead and put the steps on. So let's put this bottom step on first. All right, so we've got our bottom step on, but now we have to insert another piece. These are called lateral supports or corrals. And what they're for is to keep the ladder from moving laterally when it's on the pool. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get it finished. But for now, we need to put them on. And the easiest way to know which direction to put them on is you're going to hold the ladder up just like you're looking at it from the outside of the pool. And the slant goes down from the outside. Just think about it. You're climbing up the pool, okay? So these will be marked with a left and a right, but just in case you need to know, the straight edge always goes to the inside. So I'm just going to slide this one down. Slide this one down. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my second step on. I'm going to put my pins in place, just like I did with all the others. Get that step in the right position. Get it down, locked in, good and tight. And then, so when you go to insert the corral in the bottom of this second step, they'll only fit in one way. You'll notice that when you put them, you line them up, they line up with the bottom of the step and slip right up into it, okay? They will not go in any other way except the correct way. They snap in just like that. All right, so we've got all 3 of our exterior ladder steps on. We've got our ladder corral pieces in place. We're done with step 3. Step 4, we're going to start putting stuff together. Step 1, the platform. Step 2, the interior steps. And now we're introducing a ladder handle. So you'll need to get this out of the box. You're also going to need some of the stainless steel screws that are provided. There are 2 different lengths. You want one of the shorter version and get one of the stainless steel washers out of the bag to go on it. There's also the Allen wrench that you need supplied in the box. So we're going to take the ladder handle, straight side. You see, there's a straight and a curve. We're going to put the straight side inside the stainless steel, and then we're going to take the platform and we're going to line it up with that hole. And you'll see that there's 1 hole on this end and 2 on the other. We want the single end. So we're going to line it up with the hole. We're going to put the screw through there and tighten it down. We're going to do the same thing, other side. Okay, so now we're going to add the vertical supports to the outside of the ladder. That's these pieces here. First thing you're going to need to do is get a couple plastic caps from your plastic tree, and these go in the curved end of the leg. Then we're going to take and put it over the top of this one, and it's going to line up with this inside hole right here. We're going to put our screw in. You'll need 2 more of the shorter stainless steel screws. We're going to run those in, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we've got our other vertical support on. So at this point, your ladder should be looking like this. If it does, let's go to the next step. So now it's time to add the exterior steps to the ladder. So if you take and just lay them on the vertical supports, you'll see it lines right up. We're going to take another one of the stainless steel screws, be sure to put a washer on it, line it up with the front hole, and we'll get it tightened down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we've got our exterior steps added to the ladder. Don't forget to put your last set of plugs into the end of the exterior steps on the top there. Look just like that. Let's go on to the next step. So now we're going to attach the birth pipe. Off of your plastic tree, you're going to need 2 of these. One's going to be for each end of the birth pipe. In your hardware bag, you've got 2 large stainless steel nuts and 2 smaller stainless steel nuts. You want the 2 smaller ones. You're going to see that there's an indentation right in the end. Goes just like that. So now when you get your birth pipe, you'll notice you've got holes that are a little further down and holes that are on the end. We want the ones that are on the end, and you'll also notice there's a big hole and a small hole. We want the nut closest to the small hole, just like that, okay? So now we're going to take the two longer stainless steel screws and put washers on them, and these should be the only two you have left. And we're going to put it through the hole in the bottom of the upright, and we're going to run it through that nut. And all you want to do is just get this started. Don't run it up all the way, okay? So I'm just going to get it started just like that. We want a lot of space right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other end. All right, so I've got my birth pipe attached, and you'll see that I have lots of room here. Again, I just barely got that bolt threaded, just started to hold that, and you'll see why we need all that room here in just a second. Okay, so we're getting close. One of the final details we need to do is inside your box, you're going to see a piece of foam, and one side of it has an adhesive. So we're going to pull that off, and you're going to stick that on the bottom of your platform support, just like that. All right, so now we're going to set the ladder onto your super pool, and this is easier with two people. And we want to try to center it over a leg. And by the way, one of the cool things about the super pool and its ladder is you can put this ladder on any leg you want. It doesn't go in a specific place. Pick any leg you want, you can put it there. You can even move it later if you want to. So let's go to the next step. Okay, so we have our ladder centered over the leg that we want to put it on. You see the birth pipe hanging down, and now you can kind of see why we wanted all this slack right here. So next we're going to take our J-hooks. You'll have two of these. You'll have two big flat washers and the two larger stainless steel nuts. So we're going to put the J-hook around the back. It's going to wrap around the leg and go through the hole. Then I'm going to put the flat washer on it and the nut and just get it started. Don't tighten it down. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other end. And when you go to do the second one, you may have to wiggle a little bit just to get them to fit. By the way, if you're setting your pool up with the splash blocks, which comes with most of the super pools, this is a whole lot easier. But since we're setting it on concrete, we didn't have a need for the splash blocks, and so this space gets a little tight. But we're going to do the same thing on the other end. So once we've got them both on, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch wrench, and I'm just going to tighten these down. So now that we've got the birth pipe attached to the leg of the pool, now we have to take up the slack between the bottom of this vertical support and the birth pipe. So you can see all this gap that we left was because you would never get that down to get those J-hooks on if you tighten this up first. Here's another little trick. If you've got a second person that you can have stand on the ladder while you do this, it'll make this a whole lot easier. Watch this. So you can see that ladder goes down, and now it's going to be a whole lot easier to screw down. And I'm going to screw this down pretty much all the way. All right, so to wrap up our birth pipe, the last thing we're going to do is pull the last two pieces off of our plastic tree. And these are covers that just go over those nuts right there, and bam, you got it. So we're almost done. All we have to do now is put on the safety strap. Very important feature. So you're going to take the plastic spline off the plastic tree and your rubber strap. We're going to put them together. You'll notice there's a round hole, and an oblong hole. We're going to use the two round holes first. I'm going to take the small end of the plastic, push it through the round hole on the end, just like that. Now I'm going to take this and wrap it around the handle, and I'm going to put it through the second round hole. So that it looks like this. And you can see there's my oblong part. All right, so we've got our rubber strap on through the round hole, and we need to make sure that this flat portion is pointed out. Okay, now I'm going to raise it up here, and as I put the ladder up, if I want it to stay locked in this upright position, I'm simply going to put the oblong hole over the tab and turn it, and it stays locked, just like that. So this serves as a great safety feature. If you've got kids around and you want to make sure they don't have access to the ladder, you put it in the up position, lock it in that position, and you don't have to worry about them climbing up. And so the very last thing we have to do is put on the safety sticker, and we're going to put it right here on this step. And you can see that we've got 5 languages. Just pick the one you like. We're done. So you've got your ladder for your super pool put together. Keep in mind, if you're doing the alpha ladder, it's the same process. You just have one additional exterior step, one additional interior step, same process. If you need the Omega ladder, that's going to be a different video. You can find it on our YouTube channel. So here you can see we've got the Splash ladder. By the way, this is made for us, for our pools, and it's made by us. So it's made specifically for our pools. That's why it fits well on the top rail. That's why it fits onto the leg. This is not an A-frame ladder that just throws over the top of any pool. This attaches to the wall, so it literally becomes part of the wall. Great safety feature. Along with locking it in the up position, another safety feature. You can put it on any leg you want around the pool. Great option to have. Very good ladder. We've had great success with it over the years. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us, contact us. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Enjoy your pool.